Hello, and welcome to Good Look Up on Good Look Up on Cast. My name is SUNSfan. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Xenocide, and this is actually the S2 versus community event. And if you're wondering why Breaking and Phil aren't here, it's because they're being big shots down at NASL. So they've asked us to fill in on this occasion, and many more perhaps. But starting with the S2 versus community, of course, which is going to be pretty much all day long. But as Breaky would say, first things first. How's it going, Xeno?
It's going all right. It's a little bit interesting, of course, to finally see you up before the break of noon. And,
it's been tough.
I hear your eyes have been watering profusely just because of all these crazy morning time things that you just haven't experienced in so long, such as like a sunrise and all that. I kid. Anyways, right here we have, what is this, Team Dogkaiser, which I think is like the 1800 MMR-ish level team, going up against kind of a random selection of various community members, and that's kind of the cool thing, is they're just going to be playing team matchmaking games throughout the entire day. This basically, I think it started at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, that's noon, and of course stretches all the way to midnight Eastern Time, so 12 hours of various S2 people playing against the community. And the great thing here is that for each S2 loss, hopefully there'll be a lot of them for me, you get 10 silver coins. So basically, by the end of the day, hopefully the community can rack up some coins for everyone.
Yep, and also throughout the day, random people that are online will be receiving prizes, which we'll go over at a later time, obviously. But second things first. I don't know what to say there. But this is an SD matchmaking game. So why don't we just look into the bands, make this all competitive? Like we got a Vindicator band, Jeremiah, Pebbles, and Mr. Rampage himself. So,
well, we all know that Rampage has been banned in pretty much every competitive game that we've seen recently. So it's a great band there. He's kind of considered overpowered, being run recent. Nah, I got nothing on that.
I like how first that Gnome, if you scroll up, basically trolling the other team, basically saying that if they lose, the community loses 10 coins as well. So lots on the line here, although that's fake. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. I don't think there's too much you can really look into the bands. It's BD. We'll see kind of.
I think I said it was SD.
Anything. Is it?
I meant BD. No, I meant BD.
All right, you're really messing with me here. I'm kind of excited just to see. It's been a while since we've gotten to see kind of all the cool S2 people all in one place. Dogkaiser are obviously very involved in the balance of the game, along with a lot of the other names there. I'm sure you guys recognize Gnome, Diva, Integer, and all that fun stuff. Burrow, you're just getting left out. I'm sorry.
Dogkaiser has ruined me. Anytime I look at his name, I think of the quote, "Soul's bulwark is balanced." Just gonna leave it at that.
That was an interesting podcast, but it's at least nice that they're out there kind of talking about how they balance the game and kind of giving the community feedback and all that kind of stuff, because for some of us, we look at the game and we kind of look at things in a very simple manner where when you listen to him talk about certain aspects of the game, you understand there's a lot more that goes into the decisions they make than just randomly tweaking some numbers. So I can at least respect that it's a hard game to balance, and changing one little thing can really kind of throw a whole bunch of little issues off. And I don't know, it's not a job that I would like to have, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because
look
people
at Dogkaiser's icon.
One or another. What is it?
It's a sad gorilla.
I believe that the icons are not necessarily correct, because it's definitely a Dodge icon
really?
for me. So
it's buggy. It was so perfect. It's a sad gorilla for me.
Yeah.
Oh
well. Not a sad gorilla.
Now that the picks are over, let's go over them. So for S2, we got Revenant, Myrmidon, Accursed, Flint Beastwood, and Tremble. So Dogkaiser playing the Revenant role, which I'm assuming is going to be. I was going to say it was in a solo, but Tremble basically has to solo mid, or else he's just useless.
Yeah.
So no one's probably going to solo mid in this case.
But this is S2. Maybe they've been practicing some sort of crazy Tremble tri-lane. I could see that.
No, I could see a Flint, Myrmidon, Accursed tri-lane with Revenant solo on the side, but we'll end up seeing what happens here. And then the community side, which we'll just call them the community. We got Zephyr, Valkyrie, Meraxis, Aluna, and Torturer. So a couple of beefy fatty McFatties, if you will.
Yeah, and Meraxis actually recently got a slight buff in the most recent patch, which I was thrilled to see. As you know, that has somehow
Yeah, I'm
become.
sure.
It's a little bit weird. I have no idea how I started enjoying playing Meraxes so much, since, as you know, I don't really play strength heroes all that frequently. But I love Meraxes. He's a very, very cuddly hero, and I'm happy to see that he at least got a slight tweak in the right direction there.
Yeah, we'll see how that that comes into play here. Obviously, this is a very competitive game. Looks like Zephyr is actually going to be going mid. The question is he going to have a babysitter or not? I mean, I could see Luna perhaps. I mean, the way their lineup is set up, one of the heroes that basically needs to get levels is going to have to end up playing support. So it's either basically, most likely, in a Luna or Torturer. But in this case, Meraxes is going bottom. So he's going to be soloing versus Tremble. Now, I'm sure they're expecting Tremble to go mid, but as we said, I really expect Revenant to do so.
Well, it looks
be
like
a
right
solo in
now
one of
we
the lanes.
have Flint Beastwood at least hanging out in the mid lane at the start with Myrmidon and Tremble heading to bottom, and of course a Curse
Oh my
and Revenant
God.
at top. So that's a little bit strange, but the one thing that's kind of lacking there at that top lane is really any major disable of any sort. So if they will actually be ending up going against a tri-lane, that might be a little bit rough for them.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I think Revenant being in the top lane. Okay, so Revenant I feel like is a solo hero, but can be played as a support. It's basically one or the other. There's no really middle ground because he just scales really well into mid game, and I feel
Yeah.
like having a solo role really would help out. But they don't exactly have the greatest ganking team, so that invisibility, the Essence Shroud, won't really be that helpful, although obviously it's going to be somewhat helpful for ganking, but they don't really have any burst damage heroes or anything of that nature, so we'll just end up seeing what happens here. And yeah, it looks like Tremble is going to be laning with Myrmidon. I don't know about this.
That'll be a little bit interesting. I don't know how well Tremble's really going to be able to get off farming in that lane, but we'll kind of see what happens there. Meanwhile, in mid, you do see that Zephyr being played by... Well, we'll give them shoutouts, you know? I'm sure they would appreciate that. Epic Breeze, which I think is very fitting, actually, for a Zephyr player.
Yeah,
I think that fits very well. So Epic Breeze going up against Diva there, as that Flint Beastwood obviously playing with that very sexy alternate avatar that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, and the Hellborn team is basically, I mean, talking about top lane here, they're basically realizing that their lineup isn't very conventional,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of solo heroes. So basically, Aluna is jungling. That's what's happening here. Think about that. While Valkyrie solo's top.
That will be a little bit odd. As you can see, he kind of tried to do a little semi-pull there, but you also can see that we are in full Halloween mode in S2 land. We have pumpkins for the Sentinel and all the cuddly zombies on the other side there, as we do have a little bit of action in mid with Flint actually taking a good amount of harassment from Zephyr, but now kind of turning the tides. They're doing a lot of damage to Zephyr, who got a bottle right off the bat, so that seems a little bit odd of an early pickup for Zephyr. Is not necessarily the most mobile hero and does not really rely on having a mana pool to cast any spells, so not really sure about that pickup.
Yeah, wow, this is a BD game after all, so new strategies will, you know, be invented here, I'm sure. And I mean, that's one of the good things about casting games like this, is you're going to see things that you don't necessarily will see in competitive games. Although, you know, the competitive players, I really feel like they might be picking up something here. As we're going to have some more action bottom, Tremble's going to be, it's still a 2v1 lane, but again, that invisibility, although he can't stay invisible while they're in the mound, he's going to be harassed off the lane while Myrmidon is basically just pulling here. Level 1 Myrmidon. So level 1 Myrmidon, level 1 Aluna on opposite sides here.
And we can see right off the bat that Flint Beastwood does end up getting that 2-minute rune there, so good start for him. Overall, looking at the creep scores, it's 9-3 for Zephyr versus 9-4 for Flint, so very even as far as the creep last hitting goes, but you know, I think just getting that first turn and having the ability to spam that flare a little bit more and do some more damage is, man, we're going to have a 2v2 all of a sudden in mid, but Revenant heading over there. Dogkites are coming in and trying to initiate onto Zephyr. Don't know if they're going to do enough damage there, but he will actually go down with the very last hit coming in from Dogkaiser, so great job by them managing to finish off Zephyr there. Unfortunately, that level 1 Aluna just couldn't really do enough, having to basically get stuck off in the jungle for the beginning part of this game.
Yeah, and bottom, Myrmidon's getting chased off by Meraxes. But unfortunately for Meraxes, he does not have any mana to boot. Although Torture does. I'm not sure what Myrmidon's doing there. Looks like the last hit from Torture is going to get the kill. And Myrmidon is actually... I'm sorry. Tremble's going to be chasing Torture here now, but the Impale is doing quite a bit of damage. Basically proccing all the creeps, though, so I mean, Tremble, no boots or anything like that. I'm not sure if he'll be able to catch up with a nice axe there from Meraxes. Now, I feel like mid, they should really... I don't know why Aluna hasn't come... Although she was there for a minute there, they should just be laning 2v1. There's no reason. I mean, that's easy kills over and over for them.
Yeah, the one downside about doing a 2v1 against someone like Flint is we see a whole bunch of damage going out on Zephyr, and he just barely escapes with his life in that situation. Man, you really see that one gank coming in from Dog Kaiser with Revenant basically turn the tides of there as we have action at bottom, and Torture is going to go down to Tremble. So Gnome rocking the Tremble in a side lane, which is something... I mean, honestly, we haven't seen Tremble very frequently at all, but in a side lane is a little bit less common than that. So.
Yeah,
and by that so. I mean almost never.
Well, honestly, he's playing just like a Broodmother in Dota, not to bring up a sore subject for anybody, but this is exactly how Broodmother plays, although he never really gets that much help from any kind of support here. But again, this is BD, so you gotta go with what you got. And I mean, it should be interesting to see what items he ends up picking up here. He did go boots somewhat early, so he'd be able to chase people with that swarm ability. Looks like Meraxes is going to try to prevent any kind of stacking here, which it will prevent the triple stack by Myrmidon.
Yeah, I like a nice Word of Sight candle. I really like the themed things
I can't
from
wait
this
for
too.
Franken Kongor to get killed.
Yeah, normally when you think of it, like Torture versus Tremble, that's not a bad matchup for Torture because of the Impale and kind of be able to push him back, as we do have a stun going on to Tremble with Meraxes chasing him back off the creep wave. But, in a side lane where you're kind of stuck with a whole bunch of creeps or another hero, the Impale is not necessarily as effective. So, overall, that's a relatively even matchup hero-wise, but I think they're just going to come down to how they play it. We do have a Luna
as we see,
sneaking over to mid, and Dog Kaiser heading over to mid, so that's just one pattern there.
Well, I mean, it's good to see that Revenant is starting to gank a little bit, but again, you're going to have an Accursed versus Valkyrie top lane. You're going to have more action bottom. It's like Torture ends up getting killed there. Tremble's going to put all his pressure on Meraxes with help from Myrmidon, and I'm guessing with one more magic card, this should be an easy kill, and there it is. So,
really
dominating the bottom lane.
The Impaler's passive attack from Tremble doing a whole bunch of damage early game, and that's just such a strong ability. That's why you normally see him in a 1v1 situation mid, is because he can keep auto-attacking them off the creep wave, get a whole bunch of health back, and do a bunch of damage.
And it looks like top lane, Integer on Accursed is going to be playing the carry Accursed role, which we're very used to seeing, obviously, in a competitive role, so interested to see how he builds at the end of the day. Maybe a Mock of Brilliance or something like that. Looks like Zephyr has a haste rune, so he's going to be using his ult on Accursed. Accursed is going to use that shield, but he's going to get a 3.5 second air to the face, and will go down. So, nice gank there by Zephyr, as we like to call him.
Yeah, good job by him actually getting out of his lane and setting up a gank up there at top. That's going to give Valkyrie a little bit of a boost, as well as, let's see, Valkyrie is rocking 19 and 12 as far as his creep score. Yeah, versus 13 and 8 for Accursed. He's been holding his own up there, actually winning that matchup. As we have action at... Man, this bottom lane is just a whole bunch of action as we have the Shudder coming out at level 6 for Tremble, microing to attack Torture while taking down Meraxes. We'll see if they can come back, take down this Torture now. That's a great job microing there from Gnome. He uses those phase bitches so fast to get in there, and I'm assuming that Mr. Torture is now finished, and he is. So, the beginning of this game is actually looking, unfortunately for us, or everyone else out there that wants those 10 silver coins, not so good for the community team, as it is 6-2. They have a nice 3k gold advantage, 2.5k experience advantage, more importantly, and I think they have pretty good control of this game. The one thing where they maybe don't have an advantage is Valkyrie versus Accursed matchup. It's a little bit rough for Accursed trying to get last hits, mainly because Revenant's been kind of roaming around trying to help out in mid. As we see, he's cruising on through the jungle now, maybe looking to try and set something up on Valkyrie here. I'm not really sure what they can do with that combination of heroes.
Yeah, with bottom, we're going to have a double stun from Luna and Torture on top of Tremble. He's going to put down a mound, but unfortunately they can still see him, and he's not going to get chased by a triple combo here. Meraxes is going to use his axes to slow him down. Myrmidon is going to miss, unfortunately, but Tremble is so freaking fast with those Ghost Marchers, so he's going to get away just fine. As top lane, we're going to have, or top river, we're going to have some actions Looks like Zephyr ended up trying to get the rune there, and he's going to get the kill on Flint Beastwood just barely, but I feel like Flint Beastwood can't really chase in that scenario because he's really a hero that doesn't take off until later in the game. But, I mean, bottom lane, just Tremble, it's just completely lost lane for Hellborn at this point. I mean, we have a Luna that's, where is she? Level 2, has a bottle and nothing else. Emerald Lightning and Deja Vu has not put any skills into Power Throw yet. Obviously, being level 2, you don't have really many choices, but it's obviously not a good thing for Hellborn at this point, because it's definitely here you want to at least, if you're going to play support, at least get some levels. I don't feel like you should be complete ward bitch, unfortunately, as Meraxis is going to get initiated bottom by Revenant and Myrmidon, and he's taking quite a bit of damage. Yet another missed weed kill, unfortunately, from Myrmidon. And Meraxis is just probably going to, well, he's going to get surrounded here by the, oh, I'm sorry, this is
he's going to get surrounded here by his own team. That was a good stun, at least from Torture, coming over to help. No, I mean, he's 4-0 right now, doing a great job of just continuing to dominate that lane. If you're Meraxis at level 3 with a level 3 Torture, that's not good. And at this point, like, why not just shift? I mean, I know this is something I normally wouldn't recommend, like when you're winning a lane, but just throw Valkyrie down bottom. At least Valkyrie has some mobility and some ability to escape that combination of, well, basically Tremble is auto-attacking with his phase boots and all that extra movement speed. Just put someone down there that doesn't end up feeding that lane.
Yeah, I mean, top lane, I don't know if Valkyrie's winning, but it's not by a huge margin, so I agree she should probably go bottom at this point and get some extra levels on the other hits. But again, these are people that they feel like they're being cast, and they want to look good, so he's not going to sacrifice his levels. You know, this is the Han community after all. Come on. With the horse.
That's true. He's like, listen, man, I'm Valkyrie. I got this late game.
Yeah, unfortunately, Flint Beastwood probably will crap on her late game if they have equal farm. And, I mean, he's getting decent farm mid. He's at 245 gold per minute, but Tremble, as we've said, is the top farmer in the entire game at 326 gold per minute. As top lane, a lot of harassment coming out from Revenant and a curse. Is the shield going to get the kill? Oh, nice arrow from Valkyrie.
Wow.
Kill on Revenant, just barely getting in the way. Torture's going to be here for the assistance. Level 4 Torture, going to keep canceling his stun, kind of juking out Idager here. Gets the stun off finally, and the Impale. And with Valkyrie's help, they might be able to get a kill here, although the Curse still has his ult. He might pop here. Oh, he didn't pop it in time, so he's going to get killed. And Valkyrie's going to live to see another day. There's going to be more action mid. His ult from Zephyr's going to go out. Flint Beast was going to try to get away, but unfortunately he has no escape mechanism whatsoever. And again, like I said, he's more of a very late mid-game to late-game hero, so, and more action now on Zephyr, but I don't think they can really do much with this, as half their team's essentially dead at this point.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised going against a hero like Flint Beastwood that he decided to max his Gust instead of putting any points into his passive shield, which is actually a very effective spell against ranged heroes, especially if he's taking a lot of harassment from Flint while trying to farm in that lane. So kind of surprised by his skill build here, but it hasn't really cost him too much, as taking a quick look at the scores, he is 2-1 and farming decently at 27-4. It's not too bad.
He's farming decently,
oh,
but
that's true. It's not 200 gold per minute in
right, but look at
lane.
his experience.
It's not great.
He's by far the most experienced in the game, with a close second in Valkyrie. So both those heroes on the same team getting by far the most experience in the entire game, which is interesting to see.
It is.
It looks like Tremble picks up a Helm of Black Legion.
Yeah, and this is the point in the game where if you're Gnome playing that Tremble, he's going to be really, really hard to kill. One, because of the Helm of Black Legion giving that extra tankiness, and two, like, if he does get in trouble, I mean, the movement speed on that hero, especially when he's running over the mounds, is just absolutely ridiculous. So I think you're going to look to see Gnome being even more aggressive now, and continue to kind of put the pressure on that Hellborn team.
And speaking of Helm of the Black Legions, one was just picked up by Zephyr, so he's a little bit behind, but again, his level advantage right now is pretty decent, so as long as he can, I mean, it looks like he's going to start jungling now with that Helm, so let's see if he ends up taking off here. Flint's going to continue to farm mid, and they've applied some decent pressure to him, but I think they need to continue to do so, because he's by far the hardest carry in this particular game, and that's what they should be scared about at this point.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they did move Meraxis out of that bottom lane, so he kind of stopped at the whole feeding of Tremble thing. As you see that Revenant's kind of waiting down there at bottom, maybe looking to pounce on this Torture if he gets a little bit too aggressive away from that tower. You know, I'm a little bit... Okay, so Valkyrie basically has had complete free farm this entire game. And it's farming at 250 gold per minute, which is okay, but it's not great. As we have action going on at bottom, Torch is taking a lot of damage from the combination of 3 heroes here. A missed weed field from Myrmidon, unfortunately, is going to allow him to get away with basically no problem. We'll see if an arrow comes out or something. Maybe they try and turn this, but we do have a 5-second arrow going on Dog Kaiser, and one last auto attack from Valkyrie will take him down. Now Valkyrie's going to have to fall back from the Shudder, who's doing a lot of auto attack damage here, but the use of the ultimate from Valkyrie will mean that she is safe and sound. So lots of back
I don't know
and
if that was
forth.
a great arrow or, well, the
Combination
alternative.
Combination of both. But overall, I mean, we were at a point in this game before where it was 6-2 in favor of S2, looking pretty good for them, and now it's 6-7 in favor of the community team. Go community! And basically, things have really evened up in both gold and experience. So this has been a great last 5-6 minutes for them.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be staying bottom a little bit to apply some pressure and maybe even out this lane a little bit. Make sure that that gnome knows that this lane is not free for his taking. The tower's going to be taken down by the Legion team. I mean, with the level advantage on 2 heroes in particular, they need to even that out a little bit. But at the same time, they need to take advantage of that level advantage and start ganking a little bit. As Flint Beast was going to continue to bottle these runes, really with no resistance. I mean, it's not exactly a hero that can rune control that well, so interesting to see.
I'm not really sure what exactly. I mean, it's good that they decided to move Zephyr into the jungle in some sense, and that he's basically going to get free farm here. But on the other hand, I mean, they were at least winning for the most part that mid-battle. They had some nice ganks from Flint Beast, but he wasn't really struggling too much except for some early damage being put on by Flint. Back to the game is another 5-second arrow comes in on Tremble, but you see the shield from Accursed, a very good hero to pick against that Valkyrie. Manages to take off the stun right away, so they're going to be falling back here. We do have Zephyr coming in with a gust onto Accursed, probably not the one they want to be targeting right now, but there's the ultimate. Looking to maybe do some sort of general AoE damage, and I don't really know if anyone's going to die here as Myrmidon pops the ult, and will be looking to fall back here. Flint Beastwood is popping that. Oh, he's going for the ult. The money shot onto Torture and takes him down. So good job by him utilizing that haste, and he's going to continue to put pressure on with Zephyr taking a whole bunch of damage. Very nice gust from him though, and the ultimate from Valkyrie. Oh wow, a 3-second arrow flies across the map and takes down Myrmidon now. So this has been very back and forth for maybe a team fight that I thought where both teams would just kind of pull back and maybe not decide to engage, but in the end, you do have a couple players going down for Team S2, and it's now 8-7, so overall I think that was what was that just a 1-for-1 exchange overall? Is that the... I guess it was.
I think so. It started out as really passive, and everybody's like, I don't want to die on stream, but they did. And slowly but surely we're going to see more action, more team fights, more deaths, and it should be more entertaining. But in the meantime, we're going to look at the items here. Valkyrie picking up a Quick Blade, probably going for a Frostburn at some point, or maybe just straight for the Geos, who knows. And, I mean, looking at, where is it? I already forgot what I was going to say. Oh, see, this is what I don't understand. Accursed picks up a boot thingy. God, that's
the boots! The boot
Striders. See, I don't understand Accursed picking up Striders at this point, because I honestly figured he was going to go carry Accursed being a solo for most of the time at top. So I'm not sure why he's continuing to build more support role. I mean, it's fine to go support, but
well, I
can
maybe provide some input on that.
Sure.
Playing Accursed is the lowest. Actually, that's not true. Second lowest farmer in the entire game at 100 gold per minute. So therein lies, I think, your answer.
Is that even possible?
I was shocked to find this out. I'm like, oh, he's probably like second or third. As we have action, a missed flare from Flint Beastwood is actually going to allow this Torture to get away, and we'll see if maybe the Hellborn team can turn this at all, with 2 heroes completely stranded in the Hellborn jungle. Stun. Oh no! I don't think that Valkyrie is expecting a stun, so hits the wolf instead, and I think unless something crazy happens, Zephyr completely overplays, is taken down by Diva playing Flint Beastwood, and I think that's going to be it for both these teams, unless Diva says to re-engage her. A stun goes on to Myrmidon, gets shielded and top seal, so he's going to be very tanky at this point, looking to fall back as Meraxes puts some pressure on, but Meraxes knows nothing good's going to come of that. Meanwhile, at bottom, Tremple, who's actually a very good pusher, takes down that tier 1 bottom tower, so...
Yeah, very underrated pusher. I mean, both teams have their pushers with the Impale from... Well, I guess I'd say Hellborn has a better pushing team, obviously, with Zephyr and the Impale from Torture, but we haven't really seen that come into effect yet, as I've seen Diva miss a few flares. I feel like he's a premature flare ejaculator. I don't know a good way to say that, but basically that's what he's been doing. He's been using it on his own feet, and I'm not sure if he... maybe that's a new change they'll be implementing soon, and he just doesn't realize that they...
Well, maybe you flare your feet and it lights them on fire, and then you get like a movement speed buff or something like that.
Maybe he's lagging. I want them to complain about the servers, although they're not lagging. So that would be so funny to watch to complain about that, but it's just a personal, dream of mine, I guess.
Man, Flint Beastwood just picked up a shield breaker there, so he's going to be doing a whole bunch more auto attack damage if he can kind of stay in the back of team fights and continue to use attacks with that long range auto attack. He's going to be basically outputting a whole bunch of damage there. Also a good pickup against Zephyr, who did get a Helm of the Black Legion. It does go right through that, so I like that pickup from Diva.
Oh, there's there by Valkyrie. But yeah, anytime there's a... I shouldn't say anytime. When there's a Helm of Black Legion picked up on a hero that can carry and will carry, like with the main carry, you pretty much have to pick that up, and that's something we've been seeing a lot lately, especially from Angry Testy, actually. More flare action, kind of, again, just kind of short-range flares. I'm not sure. I'm questioning something. I'm actually going to PM him after this game. We'll ask him. Has an arrow coming out, he's going to get a creep, unfortunately, but basically a trade of towers there, top and bottom down. And Zephyr's going to... Oh, wow. Valkyrie's taking a ton of damage. Still invisible. He's going to go down to a money shot from Flint Beastwood. And Revenant's going to die as well, so a 1-for-1 trade. Kind of not too even, considering that Valkyrie is the solo at top for pretty much the majority of the game.
Yeah, that was a decent job by Luna, at least tossing in that ult power throw to pick off Dogkaiser, I believe. So at least they kind of made something out of nothing there. Again, they were a little bit aggressive without really having their whole team there, so I'm kind of surprised that they really went in that aggressively. But what are you gonna say? He's just continuing to level up that shield breaker, and I think if he really gets that to a high level at this point in the game, he's gonna be able to output a whole bunch of damage. And
the thing I don't...
like a curse keeping him alive. I kind of like going for the all-out damage build. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna be squishy, but you have heroes like a curse to back you up, so, and even Revenant to make you invisible. Now, looking at Torturer, do you notice anything interesting about his skill build?
Well, let me find Torturer and look. He only put 1 into Impale.
And? Oh, he's level 8 now.
I don't know.
Originally, I was waiting to say this for quite a while, but he started off 4-1-1. Huh. Or 3-1-1, I should say.
I have never put more than 1 point into his stun. Almost.
Well, it's obviously, it helps with the radius and whatnot, as Revenant's going to get initiated on by Valkyrie, but a curse is there to save his life. But a curse, meanwhile, will not be able to save his own ult. There's the ult, actually, so he actually did use his ult for once. Pop that shielding and apply the pressure to Valkyrie, as there's the power throw from Aluna. And, wow, there's a lot of damage going out as Valkyrie did get killed. Now, a curse is very, very low, but so much damage coming out from Flint Beast, so that shield will not help Meraxes. Torture's going to fall as well, so 3 for 0. Not very good. But yeah, he leveled up 3-1-1 to begin with, which basically is going to increase the radius and damage, but I mean, Agonizing Bonds level 1 is useless.
That's a little interesting. I would be surprised to see that. I mean, you saw there that Flint Beastwood, I think he did like Meraxes was at half health, he hit him like 3 times and he was dead. So, really throwing out a lot of damage with that level 3 shield breaker, and now he's going to go back and apply some pressure to this tower and easily be able to take it down, I would imagine. If he doesn't get too fancy here.
He has Deadeye. Come on, buddy.
Oh.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Maybe this is quote-unquote backdooring. Yeah, they have too much honor. Too much honor
to get it out.
He's like, listen, I can cast it places other than my feet, so that's what's up.
This isn't looking too great for Hellborn now. I mean, it's been a little bit back and forth. We started off like this, but then went to Hellborn's favor, I feel like, is Flint is doing so much damage. He literally shot Torture twice, and he's at half health now. Mock of Brilliance picked up on Tremble. So, huge item on Flint, and a huge item on Tremble, who are now the top 2 farmers in the entire game.
And I think this is the point where the S2 team is going to be looking to go in for the kill, you know. They have a substantial advantage. You know, the gold advantage, it's around 10k, which is not necessarily impossible to overcome, but unfortunately it is on heroes that can do a lot with that gold, and Flint Beastwood, who I imagine, taking a look at the farm, is farming at 380 gold per minute, kind of right alongside Tremble there. And they have a TP from Tremble coming in as Zephyr cuts down that tier 1 tower top, and actually Tremble's taking a lot of damage. Doesn't have a huge amount of health, so we'll see how this goes in the future, as Zephyr's looking to get a lot of health back, but the movement speed from Tremble is way too strong. Finally up with support coming in from Armadon. It's still a very close battle, but Zephyr goes down in the end. There's a delicious turkey dinner. You know, it's not quite Thanksgiving, but I'll take one.
Turkey's disgusting. There's nothing delicious about it.
Come on.
Mirax is going to use Dust there, and you're going to see Revenant did go invisible, but Revenant's taking a ton of damage. Luckily for him, he's going to die. It doesn't make any sense. I was going to say, luckily for him, they were missing because of the cliff, but now Tremble's going to get 3.5 seconds time. He's going to get shielded by a curse, and in the meantime, the shield is going to go up and kill Miraxus, so that's unfortunate for him, as Valkyrie's going to run away with the Mock of Brilliance applying to him. He's taking a ridiculous amount of damage. Curse steals the kill. Typical Ittager style there, no big deal.
Does that not remind you of a certain someone that we always play with, as Ittager decides to cancel his TP for some reason? And the chase is on Torture, and you see, Dylan's doing so much damage right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Valkyrie is going for a Hellfire Blade, and I do believe Zephyr is... Well, I thought he was going for Mock of Brilliance, but now he's spent like 2k gold or something. I know he hasn't, Just sold it and is back up to 3k, so he's going to go for Mock of Brilliance as well to try and cancel out the opposing team's Mock of Brilliance, which is obviously the only thing you can do at this point. As the Musketeers are picked up by Flint Beastwood, going to use those Illusion Runes, and looks like he's going for a Shrunken Head. He's almost there.
And it is kind of interesting to note that Zephyr still has the top XP per minute in the game, and I really just don't even know how that's possible at this point. But still rocking that top XP guy in the game, little trophy. Too bad you don't get coins for that, community. Just kidding.
Unfortunate.
You know,
I feel bad for Aluna.
Aluna, it's like, okay, you get to now play against S2, being this big thing. You're now being watched by... however many people, and you get stuck farming in the jungle from level 1. You have no items and just run around being useless. Man, Miraxus has to pop his ult just to run away. A great 5-second arrow going on to Flint Beast, but not getting shield yet. Now a heal's going to go on him, and wow, Flint goes down. This could be a great team fight from Hellborn, as Revan's going to have to get chased back. Miraxus, meanwhile, taking a lot of damage from this Tremble, who doesn't finish him off. I think he thought that Shudder was going to go over there and do that, but nothing really good came of that, and the rest of the Legion team is going to have to fall back. Overall, 2 people going down to 0 so far for the Hellborn team. Zephyr's continuing to chase and looking to take down the Zephyr, who does manage to get away unless he gets hit by the arrow, and he didn't even get hit by the arrow because the Gust took him down instead. So just as we were kind of feeling a little down for the community team, right back in it.
Yeah,
and by right back in it, I mean not really all that much back in it, but they certainly won that one team fight, and that's a step in the right direction.
That is some big throws by S2. Diva, yet again, flares his own feet and just partially hits Miraxus, who ends up living at the end of the day. So, not exactly sure. And of course, a little mistiming on the shield by... again, you're going to be spamming things as it occurs, but he shielded right before he got arrowed, so it didn't really help at the end of the day, and he ended up just getting taken out.
I feel like this can't be right. How can Zephyr have that much experience? I mean, Gnome hasn't even died this game, and he has less experience per minute.
It's because Zephyr can just run around doing whatever he wants.
I guess he's just that much of a beast, as he's gonna like to TP out here, kind of sensing there's some pressure going onto that top lane. He's somewhat right, as both Trumbull and Flint were sort of heading that direction. Don't know how much they could really do in the long run there.
Well, I think he felt a tingling in his balls.
Yeah.
That's why he backed up. I get that from time to time. I've been told it's not normal, but it ends up, working out for me at the end of the day because I don't get ganked that often. So
it's true. It's like your spider sense, except not quite.
Testicular sense.
Exactly. As a missed arrow goes flying out there from the Valkyrie, at some point, if you're ST, you just need to get on your horse and start pushing. They had a decent advantage here, and I think the one thing that they don't actually have is they don't have a whole lot of AoE magic damage, and that's hurting them in these team fights because
especially
they go
with Flare being used on Flint Beastwood
for the 8th
himself.
But you have Meraxis being able to throw down his ult and tank a lot of stuff. You have Zephyr's ult. You have a decent amount of general magic AoE being put out by Torture at this point in time. So for a mid-game team, as far as the team fights go, I think that Hellborn actually has an advantage here. Oh no, Flint needs to be in trouble here. He had haste and was being a little bit cocky and ended up getting perma-stunned and taken down. Another bit of a mistake to D.Va. Maybe he's just like, I want to let them back into the game a little bit before I step on their
Hellborn had destroyed a Legion tower.
So you know what? I think now that the game's a little bit more even, I think D.Va's gonna be like, listen, it's time. It's time. I'm putting on my tri-pants.
Do you have Shrunken Head
I'm assuming the gaming stance of Doom, and they're gonna throw down some serious business there.
He was at that point where he's like, you know what, I'm so close to this Shrunken Head. I know it's a risk to go into this last couple kills, but I just need to do it, and he dies. That's basically what happens to me all the time. And I think a Shrunken Head on Tremble will pretty much... Shrunken Head on Flint and Tremble might spell doom for the Hellborn team, as a curse is going to get initiated on here by Aluna and Zephyr. The question is, Revenant and the rest of the Hellborn Legion team going to help out, and I guess they're going to scare him off. But it looks like Tremble is going to be picking up a Frostburn very shortly here. He's obviously farming really well now with that Mock of Brilliance, and he actually just picks it up now. So he's going to have Frostburn. Expect him to go Shrunken Head right afterwards.
Yeah, Shrunken Head's going to be a great item for pretty much everyone on that team, actually, because that neutralizes a lot of the effectiveness of the Hellborn team right now. So I guess we should be hoping
mostly
for them
just
not
for Zephyr's ult.
Well, yeah, Zephyr's ult is like the main thing, because it just slows everyone down so much when he throws it down in the middle of these team fights. So, but on the other hand, it kind of eliminates sort of the CC from Myrmidon and general stuff like that. So, it's certainly not a bad item.
Indeed, Mock of Brilliance now picked up on Zephyr, so this is the 30-minute mark. What time did Tremble pick up his? Was it like 24, I want to say?
Whatever it was a long time ago in HonSpeak, so... and I remember back, my usual rule, for example, like back when we would have like a Sand Wraith and stuff like that, is if you can get your Mock before 30 minutes, that's doing okay. So it's not like a 30-minute Mock is bad, but it's not great either, considering he's really the only person with anything going for him on the Hellborn team right now.
Well, and it's not just for team fights. I mean, Tremble is farming like a beast now because of that Mock of Brilliance. I mean, it helps so freaking much. Plus, he has a little Tremble to help out. So, like having 3 units attacking.
It's like a mini-me,
Yeah, pretty much.
Runs around, super cuddly, as we have an arrow go out, does not manage to hit anything there. A Word of Revelation is going to give them vision of this Tremble. He needs to be a little bit careful, but again, he's movement speed, but a purge going on to him. They're going to look to take him down, and Gnome is going to make a run for it, but does not get away. This could be another team fight that might go well for Hellborn here, as now Doghouse is in a little bit of trouble, getting stuck out there, but looks to juke into the trees, looks like he will get away. Meanwhile, D.Va's looking to bottle up and then continue to get some auto attacks in on the remaining 3 Hellborn players. Looks like that's going to be just about it for that team fight as well. So that was another team fight where I thought with the amount of damage that they put onto Tremble right off the bat, they might be able to do okay, but I mean that really didn't, that was a pretty even team fight, I guess, for all things
they killed
considered.
Tremble right away, and it was a 4-on-5, and that made it even. So
that's basically what I meant.
Thing.
Is in the end that was probably a good team fight for S2 because they were down early.
Right. And Shrunken Head officially picked up on Flint Beastwood, and as you saw in the last fight, Shrunken basically is needed horribly on Tremble right now.
So overall, let's just let's go down the Hellborn team. Who do you feel has been playing well and not well so far for them?
I don't want to say Luna's been playing poorly, but
you gotta use their names, man. We gotta give them some credit here. Like, come on.
Saishi.
Haha.
has been
See,
playing...
now I can have you say all the names first, so I get a better idea of how to say them.
I don't blame him, because he was just... It's just, you know, it's the picks. Can't really do much. I mean, you're playing a basically hard support with an Aluna that... I wouldn't call her ever a hard support. Maybe a side support, something like that. But as the main support, not really... Usually not really a good idea. Torturer, a.k.a. Tiborsin. Not sure about your build, buddy. Your skill build.
You don't
originally.
like the,
not even
the
max them
maxing
out.
of stun?
No, I don't ever like that, ever. But now that they're all level 4 of his skills, they're all level 4, you know, might work out a little better for him. Although he's had a couple good stuns, so I can't really fault him too much.
Yeah, and he did get stuck in kind of, you know, maybe that lane just messed with his head. He's like, oh my god, we're both level 3, Tremble's level 7, what is going on? Oh, I'm dying again, and Revenant's here now? I'm just gonna max my stun. GG.
Yeah. Probably exactly what happened. Revenant has a Storm Spirit, as you saw, used last fight to temporarily save himself. I don't know if he died, actually. I don't think he did, but it did save himself. As Valkyrie now picks up a shrunken head. A shield breaker, so she has shield breaker and nullifier blade. She's gonna be dealing a ridiculous amount of damage. I mean, nullifier is the top DPS item in the game other than Doombringer on an agility hero, so that's definitely gonna help quite a bit. We're gonna see some backdoor action at the top lane, but Diva's just gonna run away here as Meraxis is gonna use his axes on Tremble. Are they gonna actually initiate here is the question. Ult from Flint Beast can be used on Torture, but back that horse up here a little bit as Shudder's not scared of anything. There's a decent flare. Emphasizing flare, of course.
I just want to point out that Shudder now has more HP than 3 people on the Hellborn team.
What?
So,
Serious?
unless I'm reading that wrong. 1400.
1400. Wow.
So Shudder's basically a beast, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and he's gonna die, but I can probably revive her.
It's a worthwhile death, you know, to show his beastliness, being able to tank up his heroes.
I guess. As it looks like we might have some action here mid. Meraxis is not really scared. Oh, a nice 5-second on Gnome. Gnome's going to take a ton of damage. Nice shield from Integer there, but I'm pretty sure Tremble's going to die one way or another. So it's a 4 on 5 yet again, but I mean, people are pretty low. Torture's going to get killed. There's a Flint Beast with Shrunken Head going into effect, and he's just pounding into Meraxis, going to easily get that kill. And this is not going well for Hellborn whatsoever. Zeph is down. I mean, look at how much damage this stick here. I feel like Valkyrie's going to be doing just about as much damage, but she doesn't have nearly the amount of support as she needs. Wow!
Well, the fact that Flint had double damage, too, really did not help them in that team fight. It looks like Valkyrie's going to try and do a little bit of juke action here. Myrmidon's like, what? Where are you going? Where are you going? As he's surrounded by all sides here, gets taken out with 2 more auto attacks from Diva. So I really think, in the end, although Hellborn, you know, the community, we put up a valiant fight there for a little while, all things considered. There are a couple team fights that kind of went our way, as we have cuddly zombie Kongor here. I'm going to zoom in on that gigantic...
Frankenstein. How dare you,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. This is yes, Frankenstein Kongor will be taken down, and you can see the changes in the... well, you can't really call this last patch a balance patch. So the balance patch that came up really buffing Kongor, he's actually hard to kill now, I guess that's what it looks.
Yeah, I mean, we've honcast and everybody else is talking about ad nauseam, so I'm not going to really focus on it, but yeah, they don't really have, there's no set amazing Kongor team anymore, although there's some, like, I mean,
looks like Aluna's looking to at least try and snipe the kill. Goes for the stun, and wow, he had Meraxis throw down a little bit of an axe, but they did get like 800 gold or whatever the heck it is, or 1,000. As we have the end. I think this is the end of the Hellborn team, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As Dogkaiser's still taking a little bit of damage here. Zephyr throws on the ult, but does go down, and the rest of the Hellborn team is going to have to fall back. Valkyrie getting a little bit aggressive, but does have a leap to fall back. Concede Vogue goes down, and I'm imagining this will just about do it.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Really? Like, listen, this is our chance, man.
Flint Beastwood going for a Doombringer. Hope he gets it at some point. Oh, okay, they conceded.
Aha! They're just trying to trick you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a fun game though. I mean, again, these are somewhat casual casts, somewhat casual games, but it's fun to see the community versus S2. We haven't really seen S2 play in like 2 years, really. I mean, I remember early beta, we saw them play a little bit. We'd occasionally be in games with them.
Like when we first started playing this game back in summer of 2009 or whatever the heck it was, you kind of got to see more, and it was like super exciting too. You'd be playing a game, you'd be like, what? Is that a red name? Oh my god, it's Malakin or whoever the heck it was, and then you'd be all pumped up and try super hard, and they'd actually play more games with the community and stuff like that. Now you kind of see them a lot less often. I don't know if it's just because they're playing less, which I think is actually unlikely, or it's just because there's so many people playing the game now that you just don't have the opportunity to match up and play against them. So
60,000 people online right now.
Yeah,
I haven't seen like that in quite a while.
I don't think I've ever really seen that many people on. So quickly just giving one last little shout out to Epic Breeze for at least maintaining the highest level in the game. You don't get an actual prize for that, but you get a very special SUNSfan happy super prize.
E-hug.
Yeah, you get an e-hug from us, which is basically more valuable than everything. With that, we're going to look to take a little bit of a pause here. We're going to move right on to the next game, which hopefully has been finished by now, and continue to cast these games where S2 is taking on the community. That's right, they're putting it all on the line here for each game that S2
They're putting the 10 silver on the line.
Hey! Listen, we're trying to build up some tension, some drama. This is like a life and death situation, sir. How dare you?
Speaking of life and death situation, looks like somebody won a 8GB HyperX Genesis RAM.
Oh
so
yeah,
congratulations
we should give him a
Sophia.
shout out.
Sophia,
It's almost
you
like
like to
Zephyr.
Sophia? You like to play Zephyr, Sophia? Very good.
And it's interesting because I'm looking down, and like sometimes when they give out like a bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh, that's okay. Like for example, I built my computer, like 2-3 months ago. Like the motherboard that they had was like a good motherboard. I'm like, wow, that's like a motherboard I was looking at. The graphics card's like the same graphics card that I have. So like the stuff that they're giving away is like legitimate computer components that, they're good. So
yeah, I think they should maybe look my way a little bit because
yeah, I know. I'm like, thank God we're online. Now we have like a 1 out of 60,000. Well, I guess it's 12 out of 60,000.
Well, even if we were chosen, I'm fairly sure they would just not use that.
That wouldn't look very good. It'd be like, oh, guess who wins? But yeah, I think so. Big shout out to Kingston, Cooler Master, and MSI for providing some cool giveaway prizes that will be given out throughout this day for the community event. People will, I think they're just randomly drawn from the pool of people that is online currently and playing the game. So if you want a chance at winning some great little prizes here, the graphics cards, there's a really good CPU cooler, nice 360 watt power supply, other crazy stuff like that. Just hop online, play some games, and who knows, it could be your lucky day. It's never my lucky day.
They don't even have to play games. They can just be
Fine.
online.
Just hop online, come talk to us.
Idle online, guys. And watch the stream.
See? Let's look at all these people talking in Good Luck Have Fun channel. Come say hi. Don't be mean to me. Anyways, with that, guys, we're going to move on to the next game here, so we're going to have to put you all on hold, just like trying to call into Comcast, get some tech support, and move
My
right
name
on to the
is
next
Joe.
game.
Very good. Very good for you, sir.
Exactly.
I'm from America.
It's
Although
like
Comcast
those,
doesn't have Indian, so it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Oh well. See you guys in a little bit.